Hello, I'm Tom Whitnick. Welcome to the KZGN News.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
The Democrat Club of the High Desert held an installation dinner last Saturday for the new club officers recently. Odessa Newman Staples was unanimously voted as their new president. She was the vice president and was filling in for Ron Carter, who was the president but recently passed away. Mary Eddings was selected as the new vice president. Eddie Edwards was selected as the secretary-treasurer, and Matthew Alexander as the press officer. All nominations were approved unanimously. The Democrat Club of the High Desert meets monthly at lunchtime on the third Saturday of the month at 10:30 a.m. at Charlie's Restaurant, located in the Clarion Inn on North China Lake Boulevard. For more information on the Democrat Club, call Matthew Alexander at 760-382-3878. In Republican Women's Club news, they will meet this Friday at noon at the Clarion Inn banquet room. The guest speaker will be Kern County Supervisor Mick Gleason. Mick Gleason is retired NAWS base commander that chose to retire and stay here in Ridgecrest with his wife Robin for their retirement. This is following on the feet of a couple other base commanders that also retired and elected to stay here. Not everyone retires and leaves. The club wants everyone in the community to know that the lunch is open to everyone. You don't have to be a Republican woman to attend. Lunch is $15 and reservations are required, so they have enough food prepared. Call Tanya Pyle at 760-446-0815 to make your reservation. In news from Washington, D.C., Congressman Kevin McCarthy released the following statement on the Department of Veteran Affairs announcement to adjust and expand the 40-mile rule. The 40-mile rule gives veterans the choice to receive health care from private facilities if the closest VA facility from their home is further than 40 miles away. Here's his comment. For veterans in our community, Sepulveda is often the closest VA comprehensive health care facility that provides the care they require. But being 1 to 2 hours away is a major logistical barrier that hampers the ability for our veterans to receive that care. That is why offering veterans a choice to seek private care that is closer to their home was a big part of the Veterans Access, Choice, and Accountability Act. However, the VA's rigid definition of the distance eligibility still left many in our community ineligible for the program. After pressure from Congress, the VA smartly made the common sense adjustments to open the program for many vets that live in our community and communities across the country that face long distances to receive VA care. Today's announcement is a small but important step to reforming the VA for a 21st century so that promises made to our veterans for their selfless service are kept. In Water District news, the Indian Wells Valley Water District Board of Directors met March 9th. At that meeting, they voted to raise our water rates. The rate increases are necessary to fund major system repairs coming in the next few years. The General Manager recommended to raise the rates over the next 3 years to the following rate increases. 4.1% this first year, 3.5% the next year, and another 3.5% on the third year. The rate increase was approved by our split vote. Board members Brown, Cordiachado, and Cordell approving, while Corlett voted against and Griffin was absent. No reason was given for Griffin's absence, but Corlett stated that he would have voted against the increase. At the same meeting, the board approved a Cash for Grass program. This program will offer district customers $1 per square foot for the removal of grass landscaping and to replace it with drought-tolerant landscaping. The maximum recovery is up to $2,000. Initially, to get the cash for the grass grant, customers will have to apply for it. Then people's names will be drawn at random until available funds are exhausted. Depending on the popularity of the program, more funds may be put into the program. This will be at the board's discretion at a later date. The Matarango Museum is celebrating a major milestone. For years they have been working to enlarge the museum on North China Lake Boulevard. Well, on March 12th, they got final occupancy approval for the new addition. This new addition almost doubled the display area of the museum. Museum manager wants the community to know that no public funds or grants were used for this expansion. They raised over $1.3 million in donations to cover the expansion. Wow, that's something else. That was a major accomplishment and goes to the sincere dedication of members of this community wanting to provide a quality museum for all of us. In words of warning from the police department and animal control services, they want to remind everyone that we are now entering the hot time of the year. People have got to remember it is against the law to leave children or animals in their vehicles when the adults or owners are out of the vehicle shopping or whatever. They remind everyone that the temperature inside a car can quickly go up over 120 degrees within minutes of leaving the vehicle. Even if the windows are cracked a little bit, the temperature goes up almost as fast and will still go over 120 degrees. Think about it. How would you like to be stuck inside a vehicle with no chance for escape to die a slow burning death? Think about it, please. Don't leave them in your cars. The East Kern County Resource Conservation District and the Desert Mountain Resource and Development Council has announced they are now accepting orders for their annual IWV native plant sale. These are hardy, drought-tolerant plants for our desert. They are offering some new species of plants this year not previously offered. Plants can be ordered at desertmountaincandd.org through April 3rd, or you can get print order forms from the IWV Water District office at Norma and West Ridgecrest Boulevard. Orders will be available for pickup on Saturday, April 11th from 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the Desert Empire Fairgrounds. The local group is a volunteer-based organization and would welcome new community interest and volunteers. For more information on the group, call 760-384-5477 or 760-446-1974. Stay tuned for KZGN News Talking Points editorial when we come back.
From the Burroughs High School TV studio, I'm Simon Austin with the Burroughs Video Bits for Thursday, March 26, 2015. Here's a quick look at how the athletes of the school are doing from the Burroughs Athletics website. The library is ordering new books and wants your input. If you have suggestions for new titles you'd like to see in the library or the latest book in your favorite series, email Ms. Paxton or stop by the library. Relay for Life is coming up on April 17th. It will be held in the school gym all day for teams and individuals to participate, and if you also raise at least $100, you get to stay and play games and watch movies all night long. See Mrs. Rosenberg in the Counseling Center and go to the Relay for Life website for more information. If you are interested in being part of the exciting yearbook class for 2015 through 2016, applications are on the door of C10, Mrs. Wall's room. Also, did your mom or grandfather graduate from Burroughs? If you have a relative that you'd like us to link you with in the yearbook, come to C10 during the last 10 minutes of lunch to have your picture taken. They will need to know the name, relationship of your alumni, and the year he or she graduated. Mr. BHS is this Friday, March 27. Doors open at 6:30 in the PAC, and the show starts at 7 o'clock. Tickets are $6 with ASB and $8 without. Come on out and enjoy the show. Hey sophomores and juniors, if you picked up an application for Link Crew, please make sure you turn it in by Friday, March 27th to the Activities Office. If you want to apply but didn't get an application, stop by the Activities Office to pick one up. If you have any questions, see Mr. Cosner or Mrs. Shoemaker. If you would be interested in taking the ASVAB test, please sign up in the Counseling Center. The testing date will be after spring break. Listen for daily announcements to know the date of the test. Interested in playing dodgeball this year? Sign up today at lunch in D28 to receive the informational packet. Prom is coming up in a month on April 25th, so get excited and we'll have more information soon. Did you know that Ridgecrest was originally a farming community called Crumville? Remember, Burros don't burrow. Have a sensational rest of the week. For the Burroughs High School TV broadcast of Ridgecrest, California, this is Simon Austin.
Thanks for staying with us. Now it's time for the 31st KZGN News Talking Points editorial. The talking points of today's editorial is titled, "Should We Change the Face on the $20 Bill?" Andrew Jackson is currently the face on the $20 bill. Well, what do you think? Well, when I first started hearing about this on the news, I thought it was a joke. But now I see that it is not a joke and that someone is really trying to push this. So I started wondering, where does an idea like this come from? Are some people so bored that they just sit around just thinking of ways to change things? And I also wondered, what was wrong with the way things are now? And I also wondered as to actually who gets to decide this issue. Who makes the final decision? Anyway, it turns out the actual desire is to replace Jackson with a woman's face. So here we go. The goal is to have it changed by 2020. My problem is the process. Who decided the list of people to be put on the bill? There is a website where people can vote. Is the website strong enough to stop people from doing multiple votes? I've seen some website vote services that was easily hacked up by a program that uses one computer but automatically keeps voting over and over. I fear a small group of people just sitting around trying to change things. It turns out that the Treasury Secretary has the authority to change our currency. And by default, since this person ultimately works for the president, then he can also influence the decision. Congress has no authority in this, except I suppose they could pass a new law establishing rules for making these historic changes. No, I'm not really against putting a woman's face on the bill at all. What I'm concerned about is future changes. If one person has the authority to change, what really is a historic document and it is part of our history, what about in the future? What if some nut started a movement to put Charles Manson's face on the bill? And the one person that had the authority to make the change agreed. Would we then have to put up with that? Or how about Mickey Mouse? Now I know these are wild examples and not likely to happen, but ask yourself, what if? What if President Obama wanted his face on it? Could he just order the Treasury Secretary to make the change? What if the person decided to put a symbol on the currency instead of a face? We've all seen the bald eagle and other historic symbols on our currency. What if one authoritative person decided to put a Christian cross on the currency? How far do you think that would go nowadays? How about a picture of an old Model T? And what's wrong with it just being the way it is for 100 years? I guess at my age, I don't like making changes to our historical documents. Again, my sentiments are not against using a woman's face on the currency. After all, when a new coin was designed and issued in recent years, a woman's face was used. I absolutely had no problem with that. But that was new currency and was not changing our history. I guess in the long run, this change will get done, and I'll just have to get over it. Which I will. It just seems that there are always people out there wanting to change things that have been sacred for hundreds of years. Holy cow, I just sounded like my father years ago when he was complaining about how my generation was just trying to change things his generation took for granted and did not want changed. But I'll go this far in my support of the idea. How about we get rid of this web voting idea? It can easily be rigged. I don't trust it. Let's put it on the next presidential election for all the people to vote on it, not just the ones with internet and computer skills. On the 2016 election, we could have two questions on the ballot. One, do you approve changing the face on the $20 bill? Yes or no? Simple. Two, if the face was changed, pick one of the 5 choices below as your selection for the new face. Then have 5 choices. In conclusion, again, this is not that I object to putting a woman's face on something. I'm just concerned about the process, and that ultimately one person has that authority. I don't like that one person has this much authority. Congress should write a law changing that. Let's let the citizens decide through a bona fide election, not just a group behind a movement, but a true cross-section of Americans. Yes, I want a voice. I want to vote. I'm Tom Whitnick, and that's what I think. If you have any comments about this editorial, or would like to discuss or recommend a topic, I'd like to hear from you. Please email them to info@kzgn.net. Stay with us for sports and weather when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Now let's go to Keith for the weather.
Thank you, Tom. Looking at our regional map, a cold front is moving across the East Coast and will bring rain and thunderstorms from the Gulf Coast to the Northeast today, with isolated severe thunderstorms possible for parts of the Mid-Atlantic. Farther to the north, snow is forecasted for the Great Lakes region into northern New England tonight and into tomorrow morning. On our west coast, things are warming up. Seattle came in at 58 degrees, Oregon was at 51, and San Francisco came in at 62. LA area was at 79 degrees today. For us locally, tonight will be clear with a low around 50, calm wind becoming northwest at 5 miles per hour. Friday will be sunny with a high near 89, northwest wind around 5 miles per hour. Friday night will be clear with a low around 51, west-southwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday will be sunny with a high near 90, west-southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Saturday night will be mostly clear with a low around 55, west wind 5 miles to 15 miles per hour. Sunday will be sunny with a high near 86, west-northwest wind 5 miles per hour. Sunday night will be mostly clear with a low around 54, southeast wind 5 miles per hour. And Monday, we are looking at sunny with a high near 88 with a northwest wind at 5 miles per hour. And again, I cannot stress this enough. With it heating up this coming Saturday, please do not leave animals or children unattended in cars while you're out shopping. That is your local weather forecast for IWV. Back to Tom.
Thanks, Keith. Now let's go to Tom Heck for sports.
And a very pleasant Thursday afternoon to everybody. Tonight, let's start local sports. Saracoso baseball in Barstow. 6 o'clock, that game at Saracoso under the lights. Darrell Allen will pitch for the Coyotes. Game 3 of the 4-game series. The two teams played Tuesday. Barstow won that game 11-2 in Barstow. Their Game 4 will be on Saturday. That'll be at Barstow starting at noon. Both tonight, the 6 o'clock game, and Saturday, the noon game, will be broadcast locally on 1360 KWDJ starting at 6 o'clock tonight and at noon on Saturday. All right, tonight, NCAA. Sweet 16 starts. Wichita State and Notre Dame tonight, that game in Cleveland. Then it'll be North Carolina State and Wisconsin, that game down in Louisiana. West Virginia will play against Kentucky, that game in Cleveland. And Xavier and Arizona will battle tonight at the Staples Center. So again, North Carolina and Wisconsin tonight, that game actually in the Staples Center. West Virginia and Kentucky. Now Kentucky, undefeated. If they can win the next 4 games, they finish 40-0. First team that would ever do that in Division I of the NCAA. West Virginia, though, does present some problems for Kentucky because that team likes to press. And it's kind of their slogan, 40 minutes of hell is their slogan. They like to go up tempo, up court, present all kinds of problems. Kentucky, though, if they get the ball into the half-court set, should have no problem, if they can do that. All right, tomorrow, UCLA, the Bruins. 3 Sweet 16s in a row. They'll play Gonzaga tomorrow in Houston, North Carolina State and Louisville. That'll be at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. And then Utah and Duke. That could be an upset. Look for Utah maybe to pull the plug on Duke. That game in Houston also. In the late game tomorrow night, Michigan State will play Oklahoma. That game also at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. NBA's best right now, the Toronto team right now, 42-28 over in the Eastern Central Division. The Southeast Division, Atlanta playing very good basketball, still on top of everything. Out west, Portland right now, 44-24. They have a very good record, best record in 4 years. Over in the Pacific Division, Golden State, the best record in basketball. Steve Kerr doing a great job there. The Lakers right now struggling, of course, 18 wins and 51 losses. The Clippers, though, 47-25. It was announced today also the Clippers will have 2 exhibition games next season in October over in China. They'll take on the Charlotte Hornets. The best division in the NBA right now, we only have about a month left. It's the Southwest Division, all 5 teams over 500. Memphis, Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, and New Orleans. All right, that's your sports for this Thursday. Tomorrow we'll have the results of the 5th grade basketball league played last night. I'm Tom Heck for KZGN.
So that's the news for today. All of us at KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only community TV station. Now stay with us to watch what has to be the longest big rig load ever seen.